Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. This is a Geeky Gentleman mini. I am Sydpart2, and joining me today is Zazubaar.
Hey guys.
Now, a couple weeks ago, I started watching Doctor Who, months ago, and I've gotten really into it. It's my new thing right now. And, Bill, you have friends that watch Doctor Who, but you've never really gotten into it.
Never.
Yeah, and so we decided to do a mini thoughts on reaction video for me being at least somewhat more of an expert on Doctor Who, though I would never claim that, and Bill being complete utter novice. So we had Bill watch Blink. It's really billed as the best, most accessible episode because it requires absolutely no background knowledge on the series, except that the Doctor is a time traveler. So, Bill just finished watching Blink on Netflix.
Sure did.
What'd you think?
I was really into it. I really enjoyed it. I thought the plot was absolutely fascinating. I thought the characters were really interesting. I thought the whole concept of these creatures that can, they can't do anything when you're looking at them. The only time they can kill you is when you're not looking at them. I was like, wow, that is really goddamn interesting. The revelations of how the Doctor knows all these things, just everything in the episode was really strong. The reveals were all shocking, really interesting. Just overall, a really well-written episode of Doctor Who. I got really into it, and definitely didn't really need to know anything. I was a little bit confused because, just because of the characters that were prominently featured, I was like, is this like, I know the Doctor's supposed to have a companion, so is this like supposed to be the companion?
No, that's what I really liked about it, and that's why it's really billed as, the episode you need to know nothing about, because none of these characters, for the moment at least, ever show up again. They're, it's a complete one-off episode that just gets you into, how the show can be written and how they kind of play around with time travel sometimes.
Yeah. And
I think it really works.
It really does. It feels like a mini movie.
Yeah, right? Okay, so you got the creepy-ass angels, and I don't know if we recorded this one or not, but Bill and I had a conversation a while back about how the best sci-fi is the stuff that is not effects dependent, and wouldn't this episode just serve to completely epitomize that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you never ever see these things actually do anything.
Yeah, they're just,
and they are
basically just made,
and they are super scary.
Yeah, and they just basically made, statues. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're plastic or plaster to make them easier to move around.
They look plastic, so they look fine. I mean, they look what they need to look like. And I assume though, just because there obviously has to be more than one made, they had to be moved around. I assume it was probably either lightweight plaster or plastic.
Yeah, and it's such a good concept that it just really fits, doesn't it?
It does.
I don't know, I really do enjoy this. It's a really good episode, and I really like it. So let's kind of summarize it for those that haven't seen, because it's not real. We won't spoil the ending. We'll get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, all right, you have the beginning where this girl goes to a house and she's ripping off the wallpaper of this abandoned building. And it's got all this information that's talking directly to her.
Yeah.
Which is creepy and weird.
A little funny, too.
It's amusing, but it would freak you out more than make you laugh.
Yeah, well, if you're experiencing it, I was like, this is really funny. Like, she keeps pulling off more, and it's just more of a message.
Yeah, duck.
Duck now!
Yeah, it really does work for it. And, right, so... And she's going around, it's a very weird experience. It's got her name there. And so she tells her friend about it, and they go back the next day to investigate in typical white girl fashion. and they get screw it. Let's go spoilers. Her friend disappears just out of nowhere, and right when it happens, you got this guy ring the doorbell that claims to be her great-grandson, and it's just really interesting. Now, Bill, like when you first started seeing the angels like move around and stuff, what exactly were you thinking about them?
I didn't know. I was like, what the hell's going on here? I mean, I assumed they were alive, but what I thought initially was like that they were just going to be. It had nothing to do with the fact that like they couldn't not move when they were in statue form. It was just like they weren't because they wanted to be stealthy about it. But as the episode went on, I was like really questioning like what exactly was going on with these things. You know, obviously because I didn't, no prior experience with this show. I saw the Doctor like on TV and stuff, and I was like, what the hell's going on with that? And it was all very disjointed, and I was like, I'm gonna hate this, aren't I? And I was like, I know I'm gonna hate this. Ended up loving it because not only did it all come together, but it all came together in a way where I was like, oh, that is really fucking clever.
Yeah, right? That's what's good about the show, is it's got those moments that are just, oh, that is interesting. I didn't think about that,
exactly.
Did I?
Yeah, I was like, because first time, like, when you see the Doctor on the TV, and you, and everything seems like it's not really, has nothing to do with, nothing really feels connected, I'm like, I'm gonna hate this, aren't I? and then I was like, oh, wow, this is actually really, really good. It was like a mini movie. And it was a really damn good movie, so, if that's the way we're gonna describe it. So, yeah. The plot was really interesting. I was hooked. I was on the edge of my seat waiting to see why exactly everything was going on. I thought Sally Sparrow was a really interesting character. She was a great protagonist. Just someone really interesting to follow. We don't really get much into the facets of her character. I don't think we have to in this case. We just kind of...
Yeah, I mean, she's in a strange situation.
Yeah, exactly.
We can relate to that because we don't know what's going on, not just like her, and we get to figure out along with her.
Right, exactly. And she's a perfect character for that because she's clever. She's got a little bit of a silver tongue. So, I thought she was perfect for that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so...
I also love that name, Sally. It sounds like a comic book name. Like the next Robin, Sally Sparrow.
No, just I there's something to this episode. I really like how Tennant does the whole one-sided conversation thing. How did you feel about the reveal of that when he's
because when she first says you can hear me and he's like yes, I was like, oh, it's some kind of weird time communication freaky deaky thing. And Then it was real. Like I was like, that's really kind of stupid. They're not going to explain it, but whatever. This show doesn't seem like something that would again. This is my reaction having never seen it. I was like, oh, this seems like this is a show where they're not going to explain it. They're just going to be like, oh, he can communicate with her through time. Nope. They give a genius, clever explanation for it, and the end of the episode pays it off. Everything in the episode is paid off, and it's just overall really satisfying experience. With that particular plotline, because it's just like you're really confused. You know that that's the Doctor. It's since especially even me, I've never seen this show before. I even knew it was like, okay, that's the Doctor.
Actually, see, for me, like I said, I just started watching this a couple months ago, and this was the second episode I saw. The first one was with Matt Smith, and it was before I knew about regeneration. So I did not know that was the Doctor, and that was a really cool reveal for me when they finally.
Okay.
Right? Like, by the time you started talking about time travel, I was like, oh, so they replaced their actor. That's kind of weird.
Wait, this isn't the first episode with him, is it?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Like, this was in the middle of a season.
Oh, well, I know, but I was like, did they, like, switch actors mid-season? Which, by the way, is he still playing the Doctor?
No, Tennant's run ended in 2009, and Matt Smith is currently the one doing the new episodes and everything.
Oh, okay. So I was like, he looks different nowadays. It's a different Doctor. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's really interesting. That's something I really like about the show because it's clever, and it's a good way to keep your show going and not have to do Star Trek and have like a completely new cast every season, or every couple seasons, I should say.
You mean like new cast and new characters?
Yeah, cast completely different characters because your old actors got exactly that, too old.
We're sick of playing the part.
Yeah, that's
like we've gone on for 7 goddamn seasons. Can we just, stop doing this now?
And that's what I really like about how the format, it was done originally, I'm guessing, just to, the actor got tired of doing it or too sick or whatever, so they wanted to recast him. And so they just built in this thing into their mythology where if the Doctor is about to die, he regenerates into a completely new body. And actually because it's a completely different body, the brain cells change, the chemical processes change slightly, so it's a completely different personality. They just happen to have the same memories.
I wonder if that's how they'll explain James Bond.
Yes, James Bond is a Time Lord. Yes.
I don't know, just being a James Bond fan this whole episode, I was like, damn it, I want these people to make a James Bond TV show, because it's like, that's the vibe I got from it. Whenever I watch something British, I'm always like, these people should do a James Bond thing. That's just the way my brain works. It was weird. So yeah, I really dug the episode. David Tennant really got me into the character of the Doctor as this very like fast-talking genius. Doesn't really get the idea of people not understanding what he's saying.
That was good. Just nod when he stops to breathe.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I thought that was really funny. Yeah, so I really got into his character. You got me hooked, dude, because damn it. Now
that was the point of this. Are you willing to watch another episode of Doctor Who now?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
That's great. See, that's the thing is Neil Gaiman, who I adore, one of my favorite comic book authors. He made a post, an article or something like that, where he described Doctor Who, and he says, see, people think you have to watch 47 years of continuity to understand what's going on, but that's not true. Here, it's really simple. There's a guy, he's the Doctor. He has a box that's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside that travels through time. That's the TARDIS. The Doctor helps people. Now shut up and watch Blink. And it really is the perfect introduction episode.
It is, because it gives you the premise, it gives you great characters, and just everything you need to know about Doctor Who is in the episode. And it's not like they work into the plot. Like, okay, there's no conceit in the episode to say like the plot is driven around this. We're going to introduce people to this goddamn show, and we're going to do it by working a plot around reintroducing people to the Doctor. Not the case. Everything you need to know to understand the plot is given to you. He says, I'm a time traveler.
Yep.
And he says, oh, this is, he doesn't say this is my companion. So I guess that's one place where you might be lost. Is like the fact that he has a companion and who she is.
He's hanging out with him, so I mean, you kind of assume that. Like, that's the thing, you kind of have to know, I guess, a little more. The Doctor hangs out with some people.
Yeah, well, you can just do that with a quick Google search, and they say it in the description if you're watching it on Netflix. So I wasn't confused with that because I know a little bit about Doctor Who. So I'm not criticizing the episode for that because the fact that it is so accessible and does such a natural job of introducing you to this world is definitely commendable.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think it's a really I think it's just a really well done episode, and it's fun to watch because it gives you these really interesting monsters. I believe it was Stephen Moffat that wrote this episode. He does like a lot of these type of episodes where he takes something really simple that's creepy to children and he makes it legitimately horrifying. I'm gonna check that real quick.
Isn't it funny because we were talking about something like this in the episode we recorded earlier?
Just full disclosure, everybody, we did an episode, or we're doing this about an hour after recording the episode on horror. I'm not sure when this is going to be posted, but it'll be posted after the horror episode. So it made me think about it, and it kind of got me in the mood to watch it again. That's why it took me a little bit, Bill, as I wanted to rewatch it, make sure I was fresh on it.
Sure, no problem.
But yeah, it just got me in the mood for it. And it's just a really, it really fits in with that. But hold on, talk for a sec, Bill. I gotta look something up.
Sure. One thing I was really interested in because the whole episode is about this girl, learning, or a woman, I guess, learning about this whole thing with the Weeping Angels, and it's a really cool reveal, very well done, kind of monstery kind of story, kind of like a really well done sci-fi horror story. I could see this story being told as a non-Doctor Who thing, even. Mm-hmm.
You need the time travel, but you could still do it.
Yeah, I mean, you could use a character similar, or you wouldn't even need a character necessarily, to do the Weeping Angels. And with that being said, one really interesting idea, I'm not sure if I took it the right way, is the ending. where Sally, gives the transcript to the doctor. So that way the whole thing will go down as it happened in the past/future. Time is a giant ball of time.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Right, yeah. I love that part.
I love that they go to it like, just explain it. They never really try to explain exactly how time travel works in the show.
Yeah.
They give you a general impression of how some things can, like, not be changed, and how some things can, and stuff like that. But they never say, oh, we time travel using this method, because they're smarter than that. They know they don't have the hard science for it, so they just...
Oh yeah, this show is major pseudoscience. But I'm one of those people who's totally fine with pseudoscience as long as you explain it within the context of the universe. It's like, if you just, like, give the character the ability to time travel, and you never explain how he got that power, why he uses it, that kind of stuff, then that's a little bit like, okay, what the hell? But, I love pseudoscience in the context of the universe in which the pseudoscience is being presented. From what I can tell of this episode of Doctor Who, they do that with everything, and it's usually a very clever answer.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's clever, sometimes it's just something you need for the particular plot they're showing. But just to get back to what I was saying, Stephen Moffat, yeah, he is the guy, and I'm not pronouncing that right, I'm sure. He is the guy that wrote this episode. He does a lot of episodes like this, and I think, Bill, if you're willing to continue a first response, like, Geeky Gentleman miniseries, I think we can do Stephen Moffat episodes, and we'd be very pleased.
Sure.
Because what Stephen Moffat does is, every episode of his I've watched, is he takes something that's just generally scary or freaky to children, and then he makes it legitimately horrifying. In this episode, it's, angels, because or not angels, it's statues, because you remember that, like, weird kind of fear that you have of statues sometimes. They look creepy, they're hanging out outside a window or something, that you think they might move or something like that. Did you ever have that as a kid growing up?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Gargoyles always freak me out.
Yeah, and it really did take this, and the joke, I was looking for pictures of Weeping Angels for the title card here, and the joke I saw was just excellent. It was a picture of the Weeping Angel, and it goes, absolute champion of red light, green light.
Oh god.
Right?
That is fucking hilarious. Because they have no goddamn choice.
Yeah, it's just, how'd you feel about the setup for the biology for them?
I thought it was well handled. I thought it was really interesting. It made perfect sense to me. Again, in the context of the universe, obviously nothing like that is possible, as far as we know. So I thought it was really well explained. I thought it was genius. I was like, oh, that is so fucking cool. I was like, that is really freaky though. I was like on the edge of my seat, like with tension when what's his name, Lawrence, was he had to stare at that one angel, otherwise it was gonna kill him.
Now let me ask you, did you do the thing, like I always do this when I see characters either go underwater in a movie or like have to do something that's like physically possible but it's just a pain in the ass? Did you like try not to blink while that scene was going on?
Sure did.
Yes.
I was like, oh god, if he does it, if he slips up, he's gonna fucking die. So I was like, oh my god. And it was just really tension-filled scene. I thought that the whole idea was genius. There's so many things you can do with it. Did the Weeping Angels ever make a return in the show, or?
They've had 2 return episodes. I haven't seen one of them. The second return is more. The second time they bring him back, it's more tied into the plot because they wouldn't really work as a one-shot again.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so it's more tied into the story arc of the season. Still in a really interesting way that doesn't require you to have seen everything. Let me put it this way. In order to watch their second episode, you'd have to see the introduction of the new assistant, and maybe a little bit about what's going on beyond that. You wouldn't have to see the rest of the season, but it would definitely help. It works better as a part of the season than it does on its own. But the other thing about, like, I keep trying to talk about Stephen Moffat, and it's just, like I said, he takes the childlike fears and he makes them really creepy. In another episode, he takes, the game of tag, essentially, and he makes it creepy. In a different one, he takes the, like the fear of the dark kind of thing, the fear of what's inside your closet or your cupboard in this case. And he makes it really creepy.
Oh, geez.
And it's really good sci-fi kind of horror. And it's interesting to see because it works so well for the Doctor to just have these random encounters with these strange things.
Yeah, which makes me want to ask you, is the ending supposed to be taken the way that I took it, like every statue on Earth is a weeping angel?
No, I think it was supposed to be like to creep you out to go, what if one of these statues is a weeping angel?
Okay, I was like...
Because it was showing you like all of them and saying any one of them could be.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, if every statue on Earth is a weeping angel, that makes no fucking sense because it's like, then, you know, what are the, you know, it's like, okay, then maybe they're saying like the weeping angels came and saw all these statues because people obviously had to create statues at one point, because otherwise what are the weeping angels basing their form off of unless they automatically look like that?
I think they do. I'm not sure. They haven't explained that part of it, and really you don't need to when you think about it, because even if they
I think you kind of do, because when you see them not weeping, they look like monsters.
Yeah.
So they when you catch them off guard, they look freaky. They don't look like they don't just look like angels who've been frozen. They look like fucking Zool motherfucker. So it's
Zool motherfucker Zool.
So, you know, it's just like I do think that does require at least somewhat of an explanation. Do they actually look like that, or do they come to wherever planet they are and just look like a statue?
I'm not sure. In the second episode they did with them, it was really creepy because, all right, I'm going to spoil a little bit of the second episode since we probably won't end up watching that one.
That's fine.
They're looking for a weeping angel or just a small number of weeping angels in essentially a cave that is filled with statues.
Oh.
Right? And it's just all these, like... You ever see you ever see Pompeii once they dug it up?
You mean with little cave drawings and stuff?
No, Pompeii with all, like, the frozen people. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The statues in the cave look like that.
Oh, jeez.
But then as the episode goes on, and the angels keep killing people, you realize all the statues are weeping angels.
Oh, wow.
And there's like slowly getting back to a full, you know, good form or whatever it is. So it's really, really creepy because they're just absolutely surrounded by them. And it's just
they're a really creepy premise. Definitely really, really cool. So. But that ending, I was like, wait, is he saying like every single statue on the planet is a weeping angel? Because I call bullshit.
No, I think it was meant to introduce that childlike fear of what you don't know anymore.
Okay, that makes more sense to me, and I like that better because it's like every single statue on the planet is a weeping angel. Because it's like, dude, I have a statue outside my house.
Well, no, the funny thing is, like I said, Kevin made me start watching Doctor Who, and thank you, Kevin, if you're listening, which you're not. Anyway,
Kevin, support our show.
Yeah, and we were watching... Well, the thing is, he kept making jokes while we were playing chess, and you've seen my dad's chessboard that we played on.
Yeah, that creepy dragon one.
Yeah, but the thing is, the queen on that looks like a weeping angel.
Oh, Jesus.
So, and when we were playing that game, I got my queen to his back line, and he didn't realize that because he wasn't paying attention to the queen. And he kept making Doctor Who jokes. He's like, I just gotta keep staring at it. Don't blink. Don't blink.
With the British accent, it must have been double as funny.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Now that you get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny now watching that video again. I don't know, it's just one of those things. Alright, so is there anything else we really want to say about this? Or I don't know, is there anything else you wanted to bring up, Bill?
Not really.
Your reactions?
No, not really. Just a really really intriguing kind of mini movie, I guess is the way I'll put it. Since it's hard to call a really intriguing episode of Doctor Who with me seeing no other Doctor Who, because that opinion means nothing coming from me. So
yeah, it's a really intriguing introduction.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to keep watching. I don't know if that ending scene where he's chasing something with a bow and arrow was brought up later, because I was like, what the hell's going on there?
Nope, not at all.
Oh, damn it.
Never again.
Because I was like, why are they running through the streets of London with bow and arrows and no one is saying anything?
Well, that was the funny thing, is they did another episode like that with where he goes back and meets William Shakespeare, and at the end you see Queen Victoria is like, "Oh, hello, Queen." She goes, "Doctor, off with his head!" And like they start getting chased by royal guards, and the assistant goes, "What did you do?" "I don't know."
Because it hasn't happened yet.
Exactly. It's really interesting.
That is fun.
But yeah, so mini-sode. I think we'll come back with the empty child. I think that's a good place to come back with.
Okay.
So we'll do another one of these down the line here, because this is fun. All right. So until next time, we're Geeky Gentlemen, and we'll be discussing.